see those butterflies in the fall that are a little stockier and bigger, and I think they're the ones that are getting ready to fly. And I think I read somewhere that they don't develop their sexual organs, and all the energy goes to the, so they're strong enough to make the flight all the way to Mexico. Now, here, yeah, I want to try to see what we've noticed. What we're looking for in these is the egg is oblong. It's football shaped. And so you could tell sometimes, because milkweed, if you disturb the milkweed, you're going to get white, sappy stuff. And you could be fooled into thinking that, oh, that's, does anybody else want to see one of these? Yeah, that'd be great. We'll pass that around. I don't know if you guys are small, but yeah.
This is another good reason for taking pictures, because when I made my first report, I was so excited. I said, look, I found eggs. I sent the picture, and you said, thank you for the picture. Those are aphids.
There are a lot of white aphids out there. There are a lot of little white things on
You're going to find so many eggs when you first go on, because everybody's so excited as soon as you see that. But it's like anything else. I'm obsessed with mushrooms, so usually my head is down. So, what's a popular mushroom? Morel mushroom?
Oh, well, the ones that we see, the puffball or the...
well, but what are the ones that are real famous that everybody looks for?
Morels.
Morels, yeah. So a lot of times people can't see those, but once you see one, then it's like all of a sudden your eye starts getting trained to look for that. So,
does somebody else who's done? Anybody else have any tips about identifying the eggs?
Yellow kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of yellow. They're not going to be white.
Yeah. And they will stick straight up. It's almost like they're balancing. I just think of a football, and it's almost like that football is kind of balancing on, just that one point. I do want to say, in regards to the eggs, you can find them anywhere on the milkweed. So I found.
Oh yeah, this is important.
I have found like 5 eggs on the actual plume of a milkweed. So I know when I first started.
Look at the bloom itself and see.
Yeah, when I first started this, they were always like, look underneath the leaf, look underneath the leaf. And I was like, oh, that's all that I could look at. And then eventually, eventually as I was just taking pictures of other things, I was like, holy chimoli, there's eggs inside of the flowers, and there's eggs. I've never seen an egg on the stem, but usually it's on the leaf or the plume of. And just because you find one egg doesn't mean one and done. There might be more, so don't stop looking.
I don't know what to say on here. She lays a huge number of eggs, or she has a huge number of eggs that she can lay.
Right.
I don't remember the number right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Now, see, I forgot this morning. I had a bunch of milkweed up at the lake before I came in. I forgot to look on the blooms. There was none. I was looking on the leaves. Yes, Annie?
When they turn black at the top, I might have missed it. That means they're about to hatch, right?
Yes. The eggs, if you see a black, now these,
One of
I've raised.
The one I looked at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's one.
2 of them at least.
It's a really tiny one.
Oh, yes. That's why I have trouble seeing it. See, it takes me a while. I raised them for a few years, and I never took any off the trail that we were monitoring. I always did them someplace else. It's, I learned to see them a lot, and they do once they start. Now, I'm not going to raise these anymore. Are any of you into raising them? Okay.
300 to 500.
One
female can lay 300 to 500 eggs.
Yeah, we've never, I don't know we've never seen such a concentration of eggs. But now when this hatches, I will put it back on milkweed now, because I heard that they're not, when they're hand raised, they're not as strong as they are when they're in the wild. Now I realize they might not make it in the wild. I mean, mine at least survived, but if they're not strong enough to do what they do, which is create another generation and get to Mexico. I'm not sure what the point is. Besides, it's a lot. It gets to be a lot of work when you get to instar number 5. They can eat one of these in a day, and you have to. And I always wanted to make sure I was getting clean milkweed, so I couldn't do it along the road because I was afraid it'd be sprayed and whatever. So, whatever. It was fun. I liked doing it for a while. Loved releasing them, but not doing it anymore. I researched it, and it said it wasn't a good thing. So I thought, okay, I won't do it anymore.
So an instar is the period between larval molts, and monarchs have 5 instars. So, why is there only 2? So this will give you an idea. There's the picture of the egg up there. The first instar, and then they've got this one listed as the 5th.
It'd be interesting if this one came out while we were here. You could see how tiny they are. But even then, if you see them enough, you'll get so that you'll see it first instar. They can be tiny, but you can learn to recognize it pretty quickly.
And as the season goes on, the size of the instars can change. They can increase. So sometimes, the first instar, may look like a second instar. So
2 and 3 are hard. 4, oh, you got to show. Yeah, okay.
This is what a second instar looks like. They have tentacles in the front and the back. I guess we should say that, yeah, with the first instar, they don't. I mean, it's just like a little, sometimes they can even be a little transparent also. They don't have the stripings, the dominant stripings.
They don't have a picture of the first. Just that one.
Well, up here they,
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. This was the first. Tentacles in front. Oh, sorry. None in the back. They're very small, though. I mean, you can't.
Minuscule.
Yeah.
It would be nice if this little guy come out while they're sitting there. And they'll eat their eggshell.
Third instar, there's tentacles in front, and they extend to the tip of the head.
Wait, what does that mean?
These will extend all the way
Okay.
to there.
What do they say? It's 10 to 14 millimeters, or the size. I can't get the bottom part up there. So in the description, and if you decide to do this, we do have something that will give you an idea size-wise. I mean, even those little gray binders right there of what the sizes typically are of the instars. And then also, I call them antenna, but they're just to be funny, but they are tentacles. Yeah, so I mean, if you, when you first start, you'll need to be somewhat aware of what the size is and if you see the tentacles in the front or the back. And that will help you identify a little bit easier. Also, the dominance of the color of the striping, so that changes, of course, as the instars mature.
It's a guess. You're going to do the best you can guessing what stage it is.
Can I ask something there? I had to draw a picture of how much 10 millimeters was and how much 14 millimeters were. And so I compare it with that.
Okay.
Well, that's a smart.
And that's done for everyone, all the different instars.
Right.
Because it really, I don't think in millimeters.
Yeah.
So,
You carry this with you?
I don't carry this with me,
Oh.
but I had a little ruler and I would mark it on a ruler and then come home and look at it.
Got it.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
do have
That's a
it.
great idea.
Because I want to keep this sheet clean.
I feel like sometimes clipboards have rulers on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you just take it, just draw a ruler on there and marble.
You could do it on that monitoring sheet, huh?
Oh, yeah, you can do it on the the monitoring sheet also, so, yeah. Okay, we did thirds. The fourth instar, the front tentacles extend beyond the head, and they're typically larger.
What's it, can you read on the computer screen what it says?
It says right there, 13 to 25 millimeters. I'm drawing a blank of what else to.
Yeah. And then the fifth stars, they get even bigger and they droop. And then you go, oh, that's a pot. And they're big. I mean, they can be, you've started out like this, and in a short amount of time, they're this big.
So yeah, you'll be set up with all of these options, what the size and, but sometimes that just doesn't matter. Like you really want to look at the tentacles. I think that is the most important, because sometimes throughout, and I think it's weather related, and then also as the season is going on, the sizes of the instars change. So,
You can have a 2 that's this size and a 2 that's bigger.
Absolutely, but when you get close up there, and that's the importance of having, something magnifying, you will get used to the tentacles of what instar.
How long they are,
Yeah.
what they're doing. Oh,
And you can't, that's because they're all, they're all up there. This is a trick question.
Oh, no.
Guess the larval instar. That's a 4. But you can see the first, how dark the head is. And how transparent, yeah. Translucent, yes, thank you. But that's what we're talking about. Both are seconds, and that can go with any of the stages of the instars. You can have that significant
Yeah.
of a
So the most important thing is to pay attention to what the tentacles are supposed to be doing at that stage. This is really cool to watch if you've ever, and you can YouTube that too, to watch Monarch. I used to yell at it and say, would you jay up already? I get tired of feeding them because they would eat a leaf, and I wouldn't have enough leaves, and I'd go, jay up, because once they go to the top of whatever you're raising them in, they're doing whatever they do to stick to the top of the thing, and then they'll eventually drop down into a jay, and they'll live as a jay for a day or more. And then all of a sudden you'll see them twisting and twisting and twisting, and then that coating, and I don't know the scientific terms, that comes up pretty fast. And it's just really cool. And then that black stripe gets gold, gets sort of real goldy. They're really pretty. And we have never seen, Jenny has seen one in the wild. I've never seen chrysalis in the wild. And they don't do them on the milkweed plant. They'll go to something adjacent normally. So we'll see a 5 at one thing.
And not
1 week.
necessarily a few feet, like they can can travel.
And so we remembered seeing a 5, we'll go back and go, all right, we're going to find this. And we've yet to find it. Yet to find one. And then they come out and they drip, and it takes them an hour or more for the leaves to fully, or the wings to fully drop down. Oh, what are we talking about, male and female? Is that coming down?
Yeah, it's 10 to 14 days after the pupation. The pigmentation of the adult butterfly begins to show through the transparent casing of the pupa. Pigment is the last thing to form before a monarch is ready to eclose or emerge from the pupa casing.
Did you mention the difference between an instar and a caterpillar?
Well, an instar
Is
is
the caterpillar.
the
Yeah.
monarch caterpillar. There isn't a difference.
Okay, it's just a different name,
It's
same
just a
thing.
different
Yeah.
name for the, yeah.
Okay.
Well, good luck when a monarch is flying around trying to decide whether it's a male or female. Because
Right.
they never sit still for you, don't you know? They're doing this all the time. Now, if you're really lucky, and Jenny, if you have younger eyes than I have, my partner is better at it, but the difference is, see the black? This is what tells you whether it's a male or a female. These two black spots.
Or black balls.
What was that?
Or black balls.
Yeah,
For the
they
male.
are. Yeah.
And so when you are out and about recording, if you see a male or a female, that might get a little tricky. So just there's a space where you could, just put unknown. So usually in my column, I'll put M, F, and U. And then I'll do the slash marks of what I see, or we see. Yeah.
Well, and then what's
You,
the other
yes.
rule? You know the rule better than
I always get it confused though.
There's a rule about how many you can count. So, and I can't even tell you. So our trail is very long, but I don't even remember most of the time they would say, you can't count that again. You've seen one here, you've seen one there. You don't know whether you're counting the same monarch again. There is a rule. It'll be in our paper. It'll be in our notes somewhere. Ronnie tells
So
us.
yeah, so as we're going, there's some days we might see like 5, 8 monarchs flying around. We're like, oh yes, this is the big, yeah, we're writing down 8, but you can't record it that way. So unless you literally see 8 monarchs at the same time, that's the only reason why you can do it. So if you just see one monarch, and you walk, and then you see another monarch, you can't, yeah.
You have to see them
mark
together.
it. Yeah.
Or if you've seen one that you know is male and one is female,
Then you know,
then you can record those. But you don't get to record as many as you think you've seen.
yeah.
It's a little disappointing. I go, well, I'm writing it down.
And this is another one that you will run into quite
Oh,
often.
Viceroys. Monarch foolers. The difference is that line along the bottom of the wing. And you will also, they fly different. They're usually smaller and they fly differently. They're flittier, I think. They're quicker and flittier than a monarch has. It's a little slower, a little bit, I don't know how, graceful, a little,
Yeah,
whatever.
they glide more.
Yeah, they're better gliders. Viceroys are jumping around, but you can always say, oh, there it is, and then if you get a chance to look at it more, you go, yep, that's a Viceroy, because you can see that black stripe.
So yeah, just keep an eye out for like when you're checking to see if it's male or female, it'll have the line there. That's a Viceroy.
And we can pretty much tell now by the way they fly, whether it's usually, but nothing is certain. But
Right. All I know is last week we were out and I got excited because there was a monarch, but it was a Viceroy. But it was on a plant, so I didn't see the flight, if it was graceful or not.
we didn't get to see that.
It's all you.
Oh,
Fall migration.
I have to say, I'm not a real student of this, but and other than this past September when I saw them, I've never seen apparently there are big groups. Somehow they know to meet up and they start collecting as they head south to Mexico. And they know they're going to go all the way down to here. If they make it, they'll go all the way to Mexico. Those on the East Coast. I think the Western monarchs winter over somewhere in California. But, and if anybody knows more about the migration than I do, please speak up. But, and of course, it hasn't been great for monarchs lately. They're declining rather rapidly. And climate change is going to, I think, change this quite a bit. The big storms come, and there have been freezes in Mexico late, or even in the south as they come forward. So it's a perilous time for sure.
So there's one. Monarchs can only fly at 55 degrees or above.
Oh, there's it. Jenny and I are not as strong on the scientific aspects of monarch. We kind of like to be out there watching, having fun, and looking at plants.
What's the site called again? The joint venture.
Oh, Monarch Lab joint.
Absolutely. They record all of this. You can actually watch this in real time.
Yes, you can.
Spring migration, fall migration, it'll show you.
Where they are.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been nice of us to have pulled up where they are in our area right now.
Right.
But we didn't. And so it's also pesticides. It's the pesticide use in the farms, fields have decimated the milkweed. But we're happy to report. All of us are hearing about planting pollinator gardens. And Jenny and I tried last year. We collected a lot of milkweed seeds and we broadcast them out in Arrowhead. We've not seen any much. We've seen a few. I mean, we probably broadcast, who knows, 500?
No, I mean, maybe pods, but seeds have to be thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just.
We went out midwinter. They say you can broadcast seeds like right before first snowfall. And we did that one time when we were between snowfalls, and we were out in Arrowhead. And not many, we don't know, we maybe have seen 5 that might have come up that we did. So it's not easy to get them started, but hopefully we're planting more. We'll keep doing it, because having milkweed out here, not by city roads, not by places where there's more threat of them not surviving, we hope we'll provide more food for them. But it takes all of us to get to work together to plant pollen.